Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for checking out the channel. My name is Brian Lochner. We really just wanted to kind of take a minute to say thanks for checking out the channel. Many of you have worked with us in the past on different real estate projects, and some of you are brand new, and some of you are just kind of checking this out to see what we're all about and some of the content that we put out. And so wanted to just take a minute to, get to know each other, basically share a little bit about who I am, who my partner Tiffany is, so you have a little bit more of a backstory. And so that's what we're going to do today. So Tiff, why don't you kind of share a little bit about, who you are, where you came from, and kind of what you do.
I love it. Okay, so this is going to be a brief moment in time of Tiffany. Okay, so I born and raised in California. I always tell everybody if I call you dude, it's like totally a compliment, but that is because that's what we do here in the Valley. I have experience in a little bit of college because I went to school for aerospace engineering where I'm super analytical. And then I decided, whoa, I don't want to do that anymore. And I ended up like some kids do, you drop out or you decide to change what is the direction in life you're going. And I went to one of those you go to job and you end up at this is where I was. I worked at the Orlando airport and I was working a 4 a.m. shift and I saw a 2 a.m. infomercial about real estate. And the real estate infomercial changed the entire direction in the course of my life because that's what was going on in 2005. And you could do no wrong in real estate investing back then. You could buy and sell the very next day. So I started wholesaling. And then eventually, when the market started going back down, you could do short sales and you could help people out in that. And it was actually a couple people that pushed me outside of my comfort zone that said, "Hey, you need to start flipping. You need to start getting into multiplexes." And that's when I bought my very first fourplex. I was actually 29. Oh no, sorry, doing math wrong. I was 26. And that led me to a journey of multiplexes. It led me to the flipping space and a little bit within that, some tax liens and tax deeds, because I was always hungry for more seminars, always hungry for more advice, always hungry for the next deal. What was going to be um, where could I learn from more people? So what that helped me accomplish was meeting a lot of people in this industry, the real estate space, and I ended up doing some consulting work all the way over like up into Canada and over into Australia, and my name just kind of got out there as somebody who takes action, and I was able to take that journey and I'm here now, and I will say that I have dabbled a tiny bit because sometimes you get some boredom in there and you do like a little bit of stock trading, a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So really what I got is a ton of people saying, "Hey Tiff, I want to do this with you. I want to go alongside with you." And I know Brian, you have people that always want to do stuff with you and we'll get there. So uh, I am here now. I have been married for 10 years and I have a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old. I've kind of moved a little bit all over the country and I now live back here in California. And that's where I work from home and I do my real estate investing, a little bit of other styles of investing, some note space that I got into several years ago. That is the chief operating way that I do my real estate investing now. And I just am so excited to be able to bring people in to the journey that I'm in because I want to help everybody get the same level of results or a little bit of those level of results with a little bit of their own time, or even just getting better than the average return that's out there or what the banks are willing to give you and whatnot. So my story's all over the place, but more importantly, I just want to know, I want to tell you that I'm here for letting you know what we're doing with our company, how we can help you accomplish some of the goals you've set out to accomplish. And the more that you get to know us, the more you'll see our story unfold and how we can help you get where you want to go too. So let us know. I want to do this though. Brian, you have a great story. I love hearing it. Tell me, tell me your angle. Tell me why. And you know what? Wrap in with it why we opened Aspen Sage Investment Fund, because I didn't cover that. So I'm gonna let you cover that for us.
Yeah, sure. So just as far as a little background, I actually I'm married. I have 2 kids. I actually married my high school sweetheart. We met when we were like 14. There's some pretty funny photos of us being pretty young, and so that's been a lot of fun. And yeah, I got 8-year-old and a 10-year-old now, and Basically, I got into the investing space because I was in the financial software industry, working with Fortune 500 companies and working on, basically cash management, treasury solutions, some things like that. Really trying to optimize and automate a lot of those processes. And one day I just got let go, and it was like quite a shock, that my whole job was just kind of gone all of a sudden. And instead of getting another job, like I probably should have done, like a normal person, I decided, you know what, I'm kind of done with this whole job thing. I want to like work for myself. Like I want more control over my own life. And, decided, I'm just going to go figure out that. And it wasn't but like a couple weeks later, I got a phone call and someone said, "Hey, there's this, you talked about investing in real estate at one point. I don't know if you're still interested." And, um, there's these workshops you can go to. And so I started looking at these workshops, and ultimately my dad called me out of the blue, having really very limited information about what I was looking into, and said, "Hey, there's this thing. You should come down and you should do it with me. It's like 3 days and you can learn about real estate." And I was like, done. I'm on my way. And so I went down and really spent 3 days trying to figure out real estate. And primarily for me, it was on the residential side. I was getting in. That's how I started, is getting into wholesaling very similarly, right? Because it allows you to just buy and sell houses without needing any money. And when you don't have a job, guess what? I didn't have any money. So it became kind of a perfect, really starting point. And really, I wholesaled houses full time for about 6 years ish, 6, 7 years, something like that. And really part of that journey was not just wholesaling, but realizing, oh, look, you can flip a house. Now I've got a little bit of money. Let's go flip a house. And then, oh, now let's buy a rental property. Let's go get into some land banking. And then I turned into a lender. And out of the rental properties that we had, I decided to open my own property management company because I thought that would be a smart idea. And it wasn't. And that was really, really difficult, dealing with the tenants one-on-one with that many properties. And so long story short, I decided I really want to be the bank. That's kind of the direction I wanted to go. Is I found my niche in the fact that I was really good at figuring out where to put the money, how to make the money. But, actually on the transactional side, I didn't thrive as much flipping houses as I did, wholesaling or lending or ultimately buying notes. And that's kind of the direction I ultimately ended up taking, and kind of converting most of my business over to creating my own notes, which is the mortgages on the property, and then wholesaling the notes, flipping the notes. And that's really when Tiffany and I kind of reconnected, because after years of doing this, the education company that I actually came through ultimately asked me to come be a consultant at some of their different events. And I kind of trained some of their students, and Tiffany was also doing consulting there. And so it was really interesting. That's really where we met. And we just realized we kind of were going down very similar paths. And that was back in, I don't know what year it was, 15, 16. No, I guess it was like 16, 17, maybe 18. I don't know, somewhere around there. And I'd have to go look it up. But really, at the end of the day, we started to realize we were kind of on a similar journey, and just things went on. Ultimately, I ended up speaking at some of those events, which was kind of cool. And when the pandemic kind of happened, that's when Tiffany and I, like 2 months before the pandemic happened, we happened to just reconnect through a mutual friend. And we were, ultimately going to end up consulting on some note projects. And so that was kind of interesting to see that, hey, here we are reunited again. Now we're both focusing on notes. And I had some other businesses at the time that were into the trading space, into cryptocurrency, which I had started back in 2017. And Tiffany kind of got involved in one of those projects. And so then everything just kind of started getting, really mixed together. And that was kind of cool, because it was a way for us to keep the conversations going. And ultimately, long story short, here we are years later, and we're still doing notes. And now we're actually in a unique spot with this company, Aspen Sage, and that we both are on this directive of, we work with a lot of different individual investors, and we're doing a lot of individual deals. And what we realized is we have access to some really big deals that are really, really cool, that are much lower risks and higher returns. And so it was really a way of saying, well, why don't we find a way to really let everybody in on the game, right? Kind of pull everybody together. And that's where this fund kind of started. And kind of how it came about is because we found these opportunities. We want to invest in these opportunities. And instead of trying to do these one-off little deals, everybody gets to have a little bit lower risk. And ultimately, with the economic situation in our country being a little unstable, there was a pretty big confirmation between both of us of like, man, I don't feel great about where things are going over the next 6 months, year, 2, 3 years. And so how are we going to hedge against these, negative, economic environments? And that's kind of became the thesis for really how the fund started. And so it was just a neat story because it really allowed us to really get to know our own businesses, ultimately do deals, and then ultimately end up circling back and realizing, hey, we're better together. And a lot of the investors that we're working with, they would like to get into lower risk deals as well. And so it was just a cool way to kind of circle back. And because of those economic environment changes and the uncertainty in the environment, we were able to add in some of the tradings that I do, or some of the investing in crypto to be a hedge. These small percentages, but I've been doing it long enough to really understand kind of how to play that game, and so it's really kind of brought this unique view to what could be a recession, what could be a difficult economic time, and really focusing on how we can help protect our own money, help protect investors' money, and really preserve that capital that everybody's worked so hard for. So ultimately, we're still on that journey of building wealth, even though we aren't sure what the economy is going to do. We want to come out the other side, really strong. And so that's kind of the story.
The important part is I've been doing this space, this like working for myself kind of thing for 18 years. And in those 18 years, the level of experts that I've been able to surround myself with, and the same with Brian, we have these connections with some of the most incredible people I've ever met in my life that have proven themselves time and time and time again to really be a steady person, no matter when the market goes up or the market goes middle or the market goes down. And we knew that we wanted to tap into their expertise. And so by us joining forces, now we have double the amount of these crazy cool experts that we have pretty much in any industry, in any space that we would want to have a little bit of an expert, have a bit of leverage, or have just the way that we know we would go to somebody. Because, hey, I don't have 18 years experience in this, or this, but these people have 30 and 40 years experience. So we realized, wow, we definitely want to share that. Like, it's no longer a secret we want to keep. It is something that we really, really want to help help you be a part of. And so this was a way for us to give back and for us to be able to make ourselves and our contribution to the world bigger. So thank you for your time. As always, we will have a lot more videos that we want to share with you, and we welcome other content that you'd like us to put out for you. We're going to continue to work on that. And with that, I think we're going to wrap up this little video, and we will see you guys in the next one.